So how is it going, guys, and welcome back to another Fallout 4 video, and today we have some more information regarding the TEC Workshop DLC. Bethesda actually put up a bit of an article over on their website today with a ton of information regarding the DLC in general, some of which was already known from their gameplay stream. It was actually sort of shown in that, and some of it is actually new information that hasn't even been talked about before. So I thought I'd cover it in this video today, sort of go through it with you guys. And again, some of you guys may know some parts of this, but I will be highlighting a few parts as I read through, just as some of the new information that we have got from this. So let's jump straight into it, and the post begins with "Welcome to Vault 88. If you're above level 20, you'll hear a distress beacon no matter where you are in the world, alerting you to an emergency situation at Vault 88. Once you arrive and take care of some raiders who are trying to force their way in, you'll meet the Vault's rather strange overseer." And this information that I just read to you guys there was sort of already known from the gameplay stream they did the other day. I'll have some gameplay up in the background here, but continuing on, it states, "The overseer is the only surviving resident of Vault 88. She's been trapped down here alone and has turned into a ghoul. In fact, the bombers went off before her vault could be completed, and she has spent the last 200 years waiting to build it. But that hasn't discouraged her loyalty to Vault-Tec, and she can't wait to run some experiments on some unsuspecting dwellers." And here is where sort of newer information comes into play, and it states, "That's where the Vault-Tec Workshop quest really kicks in. You'll start off by interviewing some potential new settlers, searching for the perfect subject for all of your nefarious tests. From there, you'll be tasked with running a series of experiments, each with different outcomes depending on the choices you make. Will you be a benevolent leader or a cruel tyrant, or maybe somewhere in the middle? Your choice of test parameters will affect the final version of each experimental object, so think carefully. Whatever you end up crafting for your experiment will be permanently added to the workshop, allowing you to build it whenever you want." So I'm going to point out a few things here that really stood out to me within this, and number one is that you'll start off by interviewing some potential new settlers, searching for the perfect subject for all of your tests. And this sounds really interesting, interviewing some potential new settlers. I'm not really too sure how that process is going to go down, whether or not it would be a major process is yet to be known, but that's just something interesting there that really stood out to me, this whole interview process thing that's going on here. Now, the next thing is the fact that when you are running these experiments, they have different outcomes depending on the choices that you make. So I'm guessing here that there's sort of like a good choice and a bad choice. They've pretty much described these as being a benevolent leader or a cruel tyrant, and or you can maybe be somewhere in the middle, and each of these choices that you make will have a different outcome, and those different outcomes will pretty much affect the final experimental object, and that final experimental object will then be permanently added to the workshop. So this is a really cool system they're going with, in my opinion. It really gives the options that you need to make a lot more thought. You really need to think about what you're doing here, because the final outcome may be something that you really want, or alternatively, if you make a bad choice and you really go with something different, the final outcome may be something that you didn't want but ended up being permanently added to the workshop because you went with that choice. So really thinking about the choices you've got to make here is definitely important, and I just personally think that's a great feature they've added in with this DLC in general. Now, the next thing they sort of discuss here is that this is the first workshop add-on that actually has quests associated with it, because this one happens to be in a specific place. You actually have a location, not just some things to play with, and basically that's the reason why they've added sort of a quest line to it. And they also state here as well, but you don't have to complete the quest at all if you don't want to. If you just want the pure workshop experience, which I'm not too sure why you wouldn't really want to do quests with it, but if it does state there, if you want the pure workshop experience and don't really care about the narrative overlay, you can choose to just kill the poor ghoul overseer on the spot, or just tell her to leave when you arrive. If you do choose to do any of these, you'll still be able to build a basic version of each experiment item. Of course, they're building a basic version would it be quite like having or running, the experiments and getting it to the final different version. But either way, it just is an option there for you guys if you choose to do so. They also touch a little bit on the interior design here as well, and it states, once you have access to this massive new interior space, you'll need plenty of things to fill it. Good thing the Vault-Tec workshop has new recipes in spades. There's a whole suite of new Vault-Tec specific pieces you can build. This pretty much ranges from hallways, atriums, roofs, stairs, bridges, vault doors, and it pretty much looks like the stuff that you will see when you explore a vault in game. You can use all of that to lay out your vault however which way that you want. In addition to the large building pieces, you'll also have access to clean furniture, new vault themed decorations, including a Vault Boy and Vault Ghost statue, which we've already sort of discussed in the previous video. The experiment related items you create during the quest part of the add-on, of course, will be added to the workshop there as well. And the newly added Barber and Surgeon chairs. So again, you know, these are stuff that you can place down, and instead of going to Diamond City to do all that stuff, you can pretty much do it within your settlement. One thing to mention is that the Barber and Surgeon chairs will only work on you and won't work on the NPCs that you have around your settlement. Another thing they've mentioned here is that if the thought of collecting all the steel necessary to build a complete vault seems daunting, don't worry, this add-on comes with a ton of resources. The idea is that they were ready to build the vault before the bombs dropped, so when you arrive in the vault itself, there's already a lot of what you need just waiting for you. You could build a good chunk of your vault with just what you have when you just walk into the place, even if it don't link to any existing settlements. Then if you scrap everything in the place, because when you go in there's like a ton of things you can scrap, you'll get even more resources there as well. Even if you do run low on resources, you can simply expand your search within Vault 88 itself. But be careful, you may find yourself scrapping a wall, only to find yourself face to face with angry creatures. Once you clear out the creatures, you'll then be able to build there as well, and scrap any items within there as well. And this was something that was touched upon in the previous video I made with the exploration level to this as well. You know, not only is Vault 88 a place you can build in, it's also a place for you to explore as a dungeon as well. And some of the final things mentioned within this is that you're not stuck solely building from the vault kit in the new underground space. If you want to mix and match with barns, warehouses, shacks, cat paintings or anything else, you can do that as well. Once you finish up the quest line, you are also free to spread the Vault-Tec love to your other settlements. Everything you are able to craft in Vault 88 can be used in any other buildable area. You won't be able to dig underground, but you can build that sky vault on Spectacle Island that you've always dreamed about. And that's an awesome feature that a lot of people really wanted, was to be able to build these vaults in sort of any settlement that they want. And I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot of really cool settlements that get built from this. I mean, some people are crazy at building settlements. Me personally, like I'm one of the worst settlement builders that there is, and when I see like a really cool settlement, I'm really sort of blew back by it sometimes, because I'm like, you know, how on earth did you manage to do this? And I just can't wait to see what sort of settlements come out of this now from some of the really creative people out there that some of you guys can really do. So that is pretty much I guess an overview of this post. I mean, again, a lot of this information was probably already known from the previous video I made, but there was a few little pieces in there that I wanted to highlight that really are interesting to me, and something that I never knew until this post was made there. So again, the Vault-Tec DLC does release on July the 26th. Just want to mention that again for those of you who don't know. And before I do leave you guys, I do want to mention again that I am hosting a Fallout 4 Season Pass giveaway for the winner's platform of choice. If you do want to enter that, I'll leave a link in the description down below to a page you can go to and see several different ways that you can enter. But anyway, hope you did enjoy this video today or did find it helpful. As always, be sure to leave a like down below, guys. Your support, of course, is always greatly appreciated on the channel. Subscribe if you guys are new around, and I'll catch you guys next time with a brand new video. Peace out.